And now, let us prepare our hearts and minds for a time of meditation.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world, a blessing to the world. You're a blessing to the world.
Deep, deep breath in now. Deep breath in and hold it for a moment. Hold it and let it circulate. And when you're ready, slowly exhale. Slowly exhale it. Let the air all the way out. All the way. And now one more deep breath in this morning. Deep, deep breath in and hold it for as long as you're wanting. And then slowly exhale. Slowly exhale. And as you exhale, let go. Release any thoughts that you no longer want to hold on to. Release any thoughts that are no longer serving you. Release any thoughts that are about someone or something that you used to be. Just begin to allow them to go away. Thank them as they leave. Just let them go. And settle into this time of refreshment and renewal. Settle into this time of settling in. Let's settle in together this morning as we take a respite from the chaos of the world. Let's settle in this morning as we take a respite from dancing through that chaos. Let's take a moment to settle into the spiritual beings that we truly are. And as we begin that settling, we begin to relax the body. Take another breath in and hold it for a moment. And then as you exhale, allow the belly to drop. Just let it go. No need to hold on to it right now. Just let the belly to drop. And as you breathe out in the next inhale, exhale, allow the shoulders to drop and allow the jaw to relax. Allow the body to begin to really relax, to allow the body to renew itself. And I invite you to focus on that chakra that's at the very top of your head, that crown chakra, that opening space, that space that welcomes all the love of the universe into it, that space that's saying, universe, you and I are one. Come, let me be together with you. Let me be aware more than I usually am that I am one with spirit, and spirit is one with me. So we breathe into that crown chakra this morning. And as we do that, as we open ourselves, we begin to feel that energy of spirit, the energy of the universe. We begin to feel that energy fill every cell of our bodies as it flows down through our spinal column and radiates out. Every cell of our bodies begins to relax. Every cell begins to settle down. Every cell becomes open to oneness. Every cell becomes awakened by the Christ within. Breathing in, breathing out. The arms and the legs relax. The buttocks settles into the seat. The hips relax and the shoulders relax. The belly remains relaxed. And as we relax and as that energy of the universe flows through us, we begin to feel the heart open more than it usually is. And as we begin to feel that heart opening, we realize that it is truly the way we want to be. That even if what's going on in this human experience calls us to close that heart, we know that without question, that open heart is truly where each of us needs to be. For with that open heart, we are able to share that energy, that oneness, that Christness that's in each of us. We are able to send that love, that Christ consciousness out into the entire world. And as that begins to happen, we begin to settle down even more. We begin to settle down into the fact that, oh, indeed, God and I are one, and that I am truly a spiritual being. I am truly a spiritual being, and I have all that I need to move through this human experience. And in that knowledge, in that awareness, in the awareness that no matter what is going on, we have everything that we need to move through it. We sit. We sit in that faith. We sit in that consciousness. We sit in that knowing that we are divine and that we have everything that we need. We sit now in the silence, in the silence. Breathing in and breathing out now. Breathing in and breathing out, and beginning the journey back to this now moment, bringing back with us that open heart, bringing back with us that deep knowing that we are spiritual beings, that deep knowing that no matter what the chaos is, no matter what's going on, that we have everything that we need to dance with it, to be in the midst of the dance of this human experience. So we give thanks for this time together of relaxation and renewal. We give thanks for the opportunity to come together in spiritual community. And we give thanks for truth. Taking in one last breath now and holding it for a moment. And then as you exhale and are ready, slowly allow the eyes to come open. And we say, thank you. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Well, let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. And let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead, feel the rhythm, feel the need to reap a harvest, plant the seed, and let it be a dance, let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Well, let it be a dance. Now everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend, and like a willow in the wind, let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. A child is born and time it flies, a time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by, and let it be a dance, let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the darkness, there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing is right. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance we do. Let it be a dance. And let the sun shine, let it rain. Share the laughter, share the pain. And round we go again. Well, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance.
David Trolley, thank you. Thank you for our music director, David Trolley. Let it be a dance. We're dancing together this morning. How many of you are are really feeling this chaos that's going on in the world and are bothered by it and are maybe upset at times. And yeah, there's everybody's going. Well, what I want to invite you to do today is to, instead of being upset or crazed by it, walk up to it and tap it and say, "Hey, let's dance. Can I have this dance? Here, come right onto my dance card. Let's dance through this. Let's not run from it. Let's not get afraid of it. Let's not want to put it to the side. It's what it is. Let's dance together. Whether whether we want to or not, we can resist it all that we want, but isn't it so much better when we're dancing together? When we're allowing ourselves just to glide through that dance, when one of us aren't trying to lead and the other one doesn't want to follow, and we go back and forth on that, but instead we just let go and dance with each other. So here we are on this journey of living authentically and living originally. And we've been going through the weeks now of Robert Brummett's book, Living Originally. And first, I want to say that it was great having Ken Daigle here 2 weeks ago. I hope you enjoyed that. His book, Unapologetic Manifestation, really talks about living authentically as we move through this human experience, really manifesting the human experience unapologetically. Let's move through it and follow the steps that we know are the truth of our being to manifest what we want in this human experience. But really, in order to do that, and as Bob Brummett had us do, we started out by becoming very self-aware, by really allowing ourselves to take a look at ourselves, becoming aware of what we saw, what we feel, what we do, what we really are. And then, oh, after we did that, we had to sit down and accept it. Now there's the hard part, right? Oh yes, well I see that, but and I accept it. I love myself for exactly who I am. And then once we've done that, we move into forgiveness and we really know without a question of doubt to really be our authentic self. Forgiveness is key. Forgiveness of not only of others or places or times, but forgiveness of ourselves. The things that we are blaming ourselves for, or things that we think are broken that really aren't, that we're just becoming aware of them and we're going to accept them. And let's forgive ourselves for whatever we need to forgive ourselves with. And then we'll really be able to enter into a place of benevolence, of giving, of sharing, of really sharing of ourselves, sharing of the good news, sharing of love. As we talked about in the meditation and the opening prayer, letting that love go out into the world to be benevolent with ourselves. And then how do we interact in this world? In our talk on compassionate communication, well, it's very relevant of the day because it's so easy to get carried away in the chaos. And before you start to dance with it, you're out there. And it's really great in this authentic living that we're trying to do to communicate compassionately, to pay attention to what we're saying, to listen to what the other person is saying, to listen back and forth and to communicate with an open heart, with a caring heart, with a loving heart. And then last week, Reverend Jen, even though she fought this topic, she did come in and talk about everything is my teacher. And really that moves us into a space where we can begin to think about really dancing with chaos when we're saying, all right, everything is my teacher. Even this, what we're going through with the administration right now, even what we're going through a war that we really don't know why we're going through it, that everything is my teacher, that we're learning something from it, and indeed we are. We're learning lots from what's happening in the world in this chaos. And so today we say, well, all right, so the chaos is here. How do we live with it? How do we dance with it? And so we start out by saying that chaos is definitely not the opposite of spiritual life. Now, let me say it one more time. Chaos is definitely not the opposite of spiritual life. it is often the environment in which spiritual growth actually occurs. That the chaos, when we're really willing to dance with it, it is truly the environment where spiritual growth absolutely grows because we need to be forgiveness during that dance. We need to be loving. We need to be aware. We need to be accepting. Learning to dance with life's unpredictability allows us to live authentically with greater trust, with greater resilience, and with greater presence. So I usually start my sermon preparation about, well, I think about it for a long time, but I usually the week before focus on the next week's topic. And as I was getting ready and thinking about dancing with chaos, this image immediately popped into my mind. And guess who it was an image of? It was an image of our own Cam Stoffer. That opened her eyes. And what was Cam doing in that image? Well, I don't know if you'll remember, but the image I had was way back in when we were going through the pandemic, and it was our first gratitude circle. And one of the things we did in that first gratitude circle was we played this song called the Gratitude Dance. And in the middle of this pandemic, in the middle of all this chaos, there was Cam Stoffer dancing with it. She was upstanding, she was moving, she was dancing, she was willing to get up and dance with the chaos. And you could even right now, you can feel the difference in your heart when you think about that dancing, when you think about that image. And so it really is a great symbol of what we're talking to today. In the middle of chaos, to really just stop for a moment and get up and allow yourself to be in it and dance around it. There's a story, and I know you've heard it before, and I'm sure I've probably told it to you before, but it's very appropriate to tell it again right now. And it's the story about a tightrope walker who was performing above a crowd stretched across a high wire. And here was this tightrope walker slowly making his way across this tightrope, and the people that were gathered underneath were just amazed at his balance and at his grace. And at one point, as he was walking across, he asked the crowd, "Do you believe I can walk across this rope pushing a wheelbarrow?" And the crowd, everyone shouted, "Yes, yes, we believe you can do it. You can do anything." And then he asked, "Do you believe I could push someone across in this wheelbarrow?" Again, the crowd cheered, "Yes, oh, we know you can. We know you can." And then he said to them, "All right, who wants to get in? Who wants to get in? Who wants to get in this wheelbarrow and let me push you across this tightrope?" Well, it grew silent. It grew quiet. It's one thing to believe balance is possible, but it's another thing to trust it with your own life. Dancing with chaos is a little bit like that. It's a little bit like that. Most of us believe life has a deeper wisdom, but when things become uncertain, we're not always eager to climb into the wheelbarrow. Life rarely moves in a straight line. Rarely. Most of us grow up believing life should follow a predictable path. We imagine with enough planning and with enough discipline and enough effort, we can keep things mostly under control. And if you're a controller, if maybe you're, let me say this right, a 1 or a 3 on the Enneagram, maybe that, why you like to control. And so we think that if we do that, why we're going to keep this life going in a straight line. But life has a different rhythm about it. It has unexpected events happen. We certainly see that almost every moment these days. Plans shift, plans change, relationships change. The world itself moves in ways we never anticipated. One day we're not at war, and the next day we are. I mean, we thought maybe we heard about it for a while, but I wasn't anticipating it. Life, the world moves in ways we never anticipated. Chaos, then, is not a sign that something has gone wrong. It is often simply the way that life unfolds. Authentic living begins when we stop demanding certainty and start learning how to remain present with uncertainty. Let me say that one more time. Authentic living begins when we stop demanding certainty and start learning how to remain present with uncertainty. I often bring up the book that the chaplains and I have been reading since I came. I think we're on, well, it's Comfortable with Uncertainty by Pema Chodron, and we're on story. There's little lessons in it, and there's maybe 80 of them in there, and we're on lesson 55, I think. So we've been doing it a while now, and they're short 1.5 page lessons about being comfortable with uncertainty. And of course, Pema has great wisdom and great topics. And the chaplains, we say the name of it and we go, oh, we're going to talk about this today. And then when we're done, we go, oh, wow, what great advice about being comfortable with uncertainty. Our instinct is to resist chaos. When life becomes unpredictable, our instinct is to tighten our grip. We try to control the outcome. We try to force clarity. Boy, that's a good one. We try to force clarity. When things aren't clear, when we're in the middle of the void, when we're in the chaos, we don't want to be there. And we try to force the outcome. We try to force the world to, we try to force ourselves to be clear in what's going on in the world. And it's not clear yet. The world doesn't even know what the clarity of it is. We try to restore order as quickly as possible. And this response, folks, is natural. Our ego wants us to do that. It's part of this human experience for us to want to do that. And the human mind seeks stability and it seeks predictability. But often, the more tightly we try to control life, the more rigid we become. The more rigid we become. Instead of responding creatively, we react defensively. What began as uncertainty then becomes struggle. And struggle becomes suffering. So Brummet says, let's dance rather than fight. In Living Originally, the invitation is not to defeat chaos, but to learn how to move with it. Dancing with chaos does not mean liking uncertainty. Dancing with it, you don't have to like it. Often we dance with things that we don't like. We don't want to, we're hesitant, but we find that when we do, there's a change, a shift that takes place. It's different. What we're feeling changes, our energy changes. It means recognizing that life is always in motion. It always is. There's nothing we can do to stop that. It's part of the human experience. A dancer does not stop the music. A dancer responds to it. Similarly, spiritual maturity is not the ability to eliminate disruption. It is the ability to remain present while life is unfolding. It's the ability to remain present while life is unfolding. It's right back in the midst of this chaos. It's always the answer. The spiritual maturity is to know when you need to stop and take a breath, when you need to stop and pause, when you need to stop and come back to balance, when you need to be willing to get in the wheelbarrow and let the tightrope walker push you across that rope. It's the ability to remain present while life is unfolding. So when we become willing to do that, then chaos can become a spiritual teacher. Some of the most meaningful transformation. Now, think about this in your human experience to date. Some of the most meaningful transformations in life begin with disruption. A loss that redirects our priorities, a challenge that awakens resilience, a change we did not choose that ultimately reveals something new about ourselves. Chaos has a way of loosening what has become rigid. From the perspective of the quest for wholeness, chaos often breaks open the structures that keep us living too small. That a lot, by breaking away from it and by not staying so rigid, we actually open ourselves up to a fuller and richer human experience. It interrupts our habits, our rigidity, so that something deeper can emerge. So, how do you live this authentic living in uncertain times? Well, first of all, living authentically does not require perfect clarity. As we said, it requires presence. We can acknowledge fear without letting fear lead. We can admit uncertainty without abandoning trust. So then, authentic living asks us to stay awake to the moment, even when the future feels unclear. To stay awake to the moment. In the midst of all this chaos, don't want to run from it. Don't want to stick your head down in the sand. Don't want to stay in bed and pull the covers up over your head. Don't want to binge eat because you don't know what else to do. Don't want to sit and cry because you've let it take you over. And instead, we want to stay present to the very moment. It's where that self awareness and self acceptance come into play. What am I really feeling? Why do I want to run from it? Why don't I want to be in the middle of the chaos? And yes, I know that I can be. And so I become willing to become flexible. I become willing to allow myself to have that flexibility that leads me to spiritual strength. Because when I'm flexible, I become stronger and my spiritual beliefs become stronger. My knowing that I have everything that I know to move through this chaos, we become steadfast in that. Have that power of strength to move through it. Instead of clinging to the illusion of control, we learn to participate in the unfolding of life. Now, don't you just love that statement? The illusion of control. I mean, how many of you out there go through the illusion of having control? Thank you. I mean, well, not every moment, but uh, instead, think about participating in the unfolding of life. Trusting the larger moment, then, is life. When we step back, we often see that life has a kind of intelligence of its own. Events that once felt chaotic sometimes reveal unexpected meaning later. Opportunities, as we said, then appear through disruptions, and growth emerges through difficulty. Trust does not mean everything will go the way we want it. Trust means believing that we can meet life as it comes with awareness, with courage, with openness. I trust myself that I can meet life as it comes. So, what's the everyday practice? What's the everyday practice of dancing with chaos? Well, Bob McAvoy, since you wanted to hear it, I'm afraid you already knew it. You already know the answer because isn't it funny how most of the time in spiritual practice the answers are pretty much the same. Dancing with chaos is not a single insight. It, like everything else, is an ongoing practice. When life feels uncertain, we can pause and we can ask, can I remain present instead of reacting? Can I soften my need to control the outcome? And can I stay curious about what the moment might be teaching? Can I be curious instead of controlling? Can I be open to the curiosity of life? Can I be open to the curiosity of life unfolding and knowing that I am all that I need to be to move through it? All these questions help us move from resistance to participation. So, this dance of wholeness, we integrate it all into this human experience, we know that life will always include moments of uncertainty. But when we stop fighting the moments of life, something shifts. Chaos becomes less threatening. Creativity becomes possible. Trust begins to grow. Living authentically means allowing ourselves to move with life rather than against it. And sometimes the most spiritual thing we can do is simply keep dancing. When we learn to dance with chaos, we discover that uncertainty is not the enemy of spiritual life. It is often the music that invites us into deeper wholeness. So, may I have this dance? Let's dance together this week. Let's dance through the chaos together and know that we have everything we need to move through it. Thank you. Have a great week dancing.